What's up, man?
I'm a Ryan Clark. You're supposed to be filming.
Who?
Ryan Clark.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is this? What are you talking about?
We're filming for a show that he wants to do.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah,
This
can I
is
go
crazy.
I can go with you, right?
You want to ride with me?
Yeah, I want to ride with you.
Ryan Clark sent you.
Yeah, Ryan
RC.
Clark. Yes, sir.
Before I let you in my truck, Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark,
All right.
RC. Okay.
Let's go. I believe him.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if they got Marcus yet. He should be on the way. Yeah, he should. Yeah, he ain't text me yet though. So maybe he was shocked. Maybe he's trying to figure it out. He told me he was coming into town. Hey RC, I'm in town for a couple of days. Let's get something to eat. Cause you know he won't eat, right? Like, he ain't gonna do nothing if he ain't gonna eat. And so I said, all right, cool, bro. Like, let's go to Rufino's then. You know, Ruff and Rodri played for LSU. Always took care of us, whether it's Kirk Herbstreit, Snoop Dogg, Tim Tebow, Lionel Richie, whoever it is, man. They come in town, they eat at Rufino's. We recently lost them, so I was like, bro, let's go to Rufino's, man. Let's just go kick it. Let's go talk. And you know how the Twitter works, right? Twitter is like, hey, man, y'all need to do a show. Like, RC, why don't you and Spears have a show? Do something together. And obviously, like, we get to talking, and it's something we want to do. But you know how it is. You got to wait on the powers that be to say that y'all need to do a show. And so if the powers that be don't say y'all get a show, then you don't get no freaking show. But, you know, luckily for me, close friend of mine, Keon Taylor, is my creative director for DB Precision, right? Which is my training company. And we just started chopping it up. And I was like, do you think we could pull this off? Do you think we could kind of do a show? And he's like, yeah, RC, we can figure it out. So what I did was, I didn't tell Marcus that we were gonna do something. So I sent the camera crew to his hotel. The camera crew was supposed to wait on him, surprise him. I got some people to play a little trick on him to make sure that he was parked in the front, right? Because obviously we weren't gonna be able to figure out what his car was. And so I'm hoping that went well. One, I'm hoping that he was surprised. Two, the camera guy's not that big. I'm hoping Marcus didn't beat him up when he rolled up on him. And then so, you know, we're gonna have us a meal, man, and we're gonna talk about like where we are, how we got here, right? We're in Baton Rouge, where Marcus is from. I went to school here. This is obviously a place that's super familiar to both of us. And so I was like, man, this is just a dope spot to do it. And what place better, or what location better for Marcus than a restaurant where they got food and they got yak. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to do it. It's gonna be fun. I can't necessarily say this is the start of a show. This is just two homeboys kicking it at lunch, shooting the breeze. I hope y'all enjoy it.
What up, bro?
What up, dog?
Hey, man.
What's up? Yeah.
Bro, you can't be doing that, man. You know me. You know I'm black from Louisiana, bro. You cannot be doing that to me, bro. Somebody running up on me while I'm going to the car, man.
I forgot you was back in BR too, man. I know you was gonna be triggered fast.
Dude.
I just told my boy, I hope Marcus ain't whipping because Chance little, bruh.
Bro, dude, my man walked up on me and was like, Ryan Clark sent me. And I swear to God, at first I was like, who is Ryan Clark? Because all I call you is RC. And I was like, bro, you don't, I'm looking at the dude like, you don't know Ryan Clark. What are you talking about? And then he said, yeah, man, he told me to just run up on you and we gonna go to Rufino's. And then when he said Rufino's, I knew it was you. Because I was like, that's his spot. So I'm here, man. We here, man.
All right, my dog. I'm pulling up. I see you in a second, bro.
All right, Brody. All right, peace.
All right, we good to go now. I feel like I'm in the money now. Also need to start wearing short sleeves at some point.
Bro.
There he is.
Bro, listen. It's too much. It's too much, bro.
Hey, man, listen, you already know, dog. What we get on Twitter every day. You and Swagu need a show. RC, do something. We were waiting on the powers that be for a long time, dog.
But at least tell me I'm finna get ran up on.
Nah, cause then you would have did the Swagu thing.
I would've got all
Hey, no,
that.
what's your people name? That sponsor? Yeah, you'd have had your shirt on and all that. I wanted you to come like
wanna
this,
be
man.
raw, all right.
Because because the people know Swagu, right?
Right.
I want the people to meet Marcus. You know what I'm saying? Let's roll.
I love this one right here. I'm gonna talk loud. Every day I used to tell myself, I gotta make it out when no one helps. Underwater did a Michael Phelps. Now I'm walking on the clouds, proud of myself. Like it was over when it started. Success slipping, I'm tripping was hard, but then I caught it.
Sitting down, the Rufino's room. Right, got our boy Ruffin all over the wall. This is the reason I wanted to pick this place.
Yeah.
Right, so many memories we've all had here. Look, obviously you see Kurt, Herb Street right there, Coach O. We spent a lot of time here, but the same heritage, right? The
It's
same
different,
story.
man. It's surreal, bro. Like, the one common denominator with Ruff is that we always used to talk about just the spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Every time I used to come in here, it was just juice.
Every
You
time.
always had juice.
Every
you know
time.
what I'm saying?
And the
So-
big thing about it too, though, man. Like when I ate here, it felt like Tiger Stadium.
It was Tiger Stadium.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When he walked
yeah.
in, man, when you saw him, you knew it wasn't a night at Rufino
Right.
unless he walked in.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I thought it would be dope, man, for us to be able to come here, show some love to
No
him.
doubt.
And thank you so much.
Yes.
Because without you, it doesn't happen. He was totally surprised, right?
Yeah.
He didn't know what was going on. So we appreciate y'all. And shoot, man, let's eat.
Well, there you go. I've been trying to get to that.
Hey, bro. Oh, there he is.
Be back.
What you got?
Just got some more water for you guys.
Man, look at
Why
y'all.
y'all do it so fancy though?
Look
I
at
feel
God.
Hey, it's
Anything
real
for you guys.
presidential.
Anything for you
Man.
guys. How's that barbecue shrimp?
Bruh, I'm gonna tell you what. Whoever the chef is today stuck their whole foot in it.
Whole foot. The bread,
Nah.
the bread dip in the sauce is the move though. Like good looking out on
What did I
that.
tell you?
But the other part is this though. When you brought out the bread, you heard me as you were walking over. I was saying I stopped liking bread yesterday anyway, right? So I wasn't even supposed to eat none, but
It's like a commercial.
you know,
Things
there it
change, huh?
was. There it was.
It has that effect on people. I understand, 100%.
Well, I only did it for Marcus because I knew he wanted it. And so when you a real friend, right? Because I was just supposed to be taking in the lunch, and you a real friend, you join in on what your friends are doing. type stuff.
Absolutely.
Man, I wish my friends were like
And
that.
RC know me.
Yeah, we're gonna eat today.
We going to lunch. We gonna
eat.
eat.
He been on the Peloton, so
You got came to the right place.
he worked out for this today.
I'm paying for calories right now.
Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely. I'm glad y'all enjoying everything.
All right, appreciate it, bro.
Hey, bro.
At some point we gotta talk.
I know,
But let me hit this shrimp right quick.
but as they were setting up though, and I was thinking about the food, and I was like, shoot, they taking a while. You know what I'm saying? By the time they get ready, if this food out, I ain't got nothing for them. But then too, I'm looking at these cameras and they moving them around and slinging them, and I was like, all right, like we got a real life production in here, but I ain't got time to pay for no cameras.
First of all, this you doing it big time. But speaking of them cameras, so we had the national championship a couple years ago. I grab a camera, you know how we be clowning. I grab a camera and start going around with everybody. I'm shooting it like the old school films. You know what I'm saying? Like when we had the little camcorders you get for a
Right.
bowl game or something.
You hold it like this?
I'm holding it like this.
All right.
So the dude, one of the guys, the camera guys was like, Marcus, put the camera down. Now mind you, I've been with these dudes for like 3 years.
Right.
I ain't never felt this tone before.
Right. He talks to you like, hey, like say, bro.
Like say, yeah, like
And put it down slow too. You know.
So I look at him and I'm trying to grab like, are we joking or is it? He's like, Marcus, man, I'm serious. Can you put the camera down? So I got it then.
But don't they have like, isn't that their own stuff though? Like
It's-
at those places?
Yes, a lot of
Yes,
times
like their own
it's the
joints.
production company that's been hired.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I got this camera, so I asked the dude. I'm not mad, but I'm trying to figure out should I be mad because of the way he
why you
asked
talking to me like that? Right.
So I asked him, I was like, what's up with the camera? He's like, yeah, that camera's $65,000. I said, it's who? I was like, so I can go get a car for the price of
But
this
this camera.
I was like, let me put it down.
And before your NFL live gig too.
Your live gig.
You got to go. Hey, you got to go in the football money. Hey, they're gonna make you pay. You have to go home. So
Hey, listen, we're gonna have to this college plan that
We
we
gotta
got.
figure it
it's
out.
taking a hit today.
But see,
it was.
But that's the crazy thing, right? Like, so we sitting here, we in BR, right? You from here? Think about it. We at a place now, bro, where we can rent a room, right? You can have different cameras, sound people, right? Cameramen.
It's home,
and
bro.
we could do that at our crib.
Yeah. How I feel living here?
It's weird sometimes.
You done seen the world now, right? Like when we was growing up, Louisiana was big.
It was huge,
right? Like Louisiana in general, right? You from obviously a different place than me in the state, but at the same time, when you play football, you got connective tissue. Everybody kind of, especially when you standing out, everybody experiencing the same thing. So I get here yesterday, bro, and you know I done moved around. I was in Dallas, obviously got drafted, lived in Charlotte when I first started in TV, moved back to Dallas, and now we in Virginia, and it's a whole different vibe, obviously. But I got back yesterday, and that's when, it's funny, we talk. People don't, we really bored.
Right.
Like, we really pop.
Like, that's my dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we converse.
We converse.
Right.
Like, we talk. So
Most of the time we gossip, but.
Yeah, we a lot.
We do a lot of that.
You think we women sometimes. I mean, let's be honest. But we just, I'm driving, man, and you know my grandmother passed. You was with me through all that. So I'm driving to go see her at the cemetery. So I drive through my hood, RC. Now, you know me, I grew up all over Baton Rouge. I grew up in North Baton Rouge. My grandmother lived in Skylandville, South Baton Rouge, my mom. But I'm driving through, bro, and I'm looking around, and the buildings are the same, dilapidated. You still got your businesses that's thriving, black owned. They still, the barbershop, Loftons, I'm driving, bro, and I legit, because we talk about this, but I felt it. And I hit you, right?
We talked about it,
I was like, bro, how did I get out of here?
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm looking at everything. And I'm like, if somebody was to ride through with me, show me the opportunity.
But see, though, I think that's the, right, so that's the thing that we're always fighting about.
Yes.
Right, the thing we're always talking about.
Yes.
And I always tell people too, bro, like they don't give us awards for struggle.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like it's not okay. You don't get a reward because they say, look, man, this is what you came from. It's okay that you didn't make it. That ain't how it is.
That ain't how it go.
Right? But so when you do go back though and you see it, you do wonder how. Right? But then you start thinking about, you're talking about your grandma, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about your moms. You think about all these people, and that's how you got out, bro.
That was the community, right? So every time we have this conversation, as a whole, we always talk about the places, And you know me, every time you and I speaking or we receiving some kind of award for something or whatever, I'm always like, it took a lot of people. It took a lot of people. And to that point, yesterday I'm riding around, and even in that moment where I'm like, look how hard it is to get out of here, I'm still seeing familiar faces that just dropped a nugget. Like, Mark, stay on that court, man.
Yep.
Keep playing ball, right? Get your books. How many times we heard that?
But see, the other thing is, too, though, people don't get what it's like being from places that we're from, because the dude, and you know, like, you hear music all the time, you know, talk about dope boys, and talk about hooping and stuff like that, football players, that's the ways to get out. Like, I remember dudes being the dope boy, but me being untouchable.
Untouchable.
Right? Nah, you're gonna leave Ryan alone. Right? And what they say, he the one.
He the one.
He the one that's gonna make it. Right? He gonna get up out of here. And so when people try to talk about the places that we're from and the people we grew up with, they don't understand we had a code though.
Man, dude,
right.
It's so hard to explain because that's the difference, right? Like we both on television, and we understand that any given segment gives you 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. And
you sharing that 3 to 5 minutes with 2 or 3 other people. But I tell people all the time, like, if you want the real story about not just Ryan and Marcus, but most of the experiences of cats coming from places like we came from, you gotta have time.
You gotta have a lot of time.
Like, you gotta have a lot of time, because in me saying, when I called you, saying, RC, how did I make it out? That's 2021 Marcus. Right? That's NFL 9 years, then lived in gated communities, then moved all across the country, My kids don't have the same experience of choosing between water and lights, right? So yesterday I'm driving through and I'm thinking to myself, it is the community. Like as much as we shun the hood, right? Or as much as
you try to get out of it.
Get out of it. Like
that's the goal.
The goal is to
get out.
Cause I tell people that are living in the hood, they know they don't want to live that way.
Yeah.
But it's economics. It's what you've grown up under. But anyway, to your point, man, just thinking about it, it was the people.
Yeah.
It was the people, like where we are now.
Yeah.
It was the people.
100%.
Like so, it was just it was one of those moments yesterday, man, where
and now we got Shell.
Oh my God.
Shell bringing us.
Yeah, see,
bringing
we're a
us
long
salad,
way
man.
from
We're a long way from what we were. Cause why? Watch how bougie. I get some pepper, bro.
Yeah,
Sure, like fresh cracked pepper.
Fresh crack. Fresh crack. You know what I'm saying? Rufino's at his finest,
I'm
baby.
telling you,
Appreciate
man.
you, Shell.
Oh, look at this ranch
Fresh
dressing.
pepper?
Good, yes, sir. Please. Oh my God.
I'm
Oh yeah.
I'm good with the
Don't
bread.
take them too.
You don't want the bread, bro? You want the bread still?
No, you can take the bread, but you can't take them shrimp.
No, you can take the shrimp.
That shrimp.
No.
Yo, enjoy, gentlemen.
My man, thank you, Shell.
Thank you.
And so like that was like when you were talking to me though, and even listening to you now, and we talk about people and places, right? Like I remember having opportunities to go back to LSU in 2020, right? And when what we were going through in 2020, that you were big on TV and I was big on TV, and I had an opportunity to speak, and I told them I'm gonna hold people here accountable,
Yes.
right? Because I said these buildings mean nothing to me,
Nothing.
right? The colors, the buildings, the people, right? I'm loyal to people
Who making
not
this
places.
up?
And so I think when you talk about being where you're from, one thing that people have to understand about you too is like now you can look back on it and because you've been in different places and see the hole that you were actually in. Bro, when I was there, I couldn't see that, Marcus. I knew we didn't have certain things, but I didn't feel it.
RC, we look forward to waking up and going out.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
I was
Like-
gonna go out the house and have a good time. I was gonna go hoop. I was
And the
gonna play
crazy
football.
thing is, knowing what we know now, and by no means casting aspersions on people that's still living in where we from, because a big part of them is the reason we got out. A lot of seeing what we don't want
Right.
was a big part. But I think about it, man, and I can't help it. Like, and I know probably a lot of young black men that made it out. I couldn't imagine my kids in that.
Yeah.
Like so it's funny, man, because we always get offended.
Here's things though. You couldn't imagine your kids in it, but you're still trying to teach your kids lessons you learned from it.
Dude, sports, right? Your kids play sports, my kids play sports. I always try to give them a South Baton Rouge dog mentality, or a North Skylandville where I grew up playing in Elm Grove in the concrete jungle, or whatever. But they just, and as a parent, like as much as we say, you need to have this mentality, and you need to, I got caught up early when my kids was young, thinking that they were supposed to understand that. Can't. Every day we woke up, and I tell people this all the time. Every day I woke up where I grew up, you had to be on 100% alert.
Yep.
You had to make sure you knew where you was going efficiently. Because if, one, you get knocked off course, you might end up by the wrong dudes.
Yep.
Might end up by the police. Or you end up becoming, that dude there, he got talent,
Right.
but he
ain't gonna make it.
He ain't gonna make it.
He ain't gonna make
So I always, I try to find that line between, I know y'all experience growing up now because, obviously your mom and dad.
That's what I wanted for you too, though.
100%.
Don't get me wrong. Like
Yeah.
I wanted you to be in this,
Yes.
unlike I was. Like I wanted that. But the other part of us too is we got to grow from where we came from, and become something else, and learn to live a different way
100%.
and appreciate it. Like my youngest kid she never had struggle. Like my oldest kids lived in apartments. My youngest never had that. I call her a pro baby.
Yes.
Right? She was a pro baby.
Yes.
And so now when you look at, okay,
That's
I want you to be
crazy.
a dog. I remember taking Jordan to New Orleans for camps, right? And you got to do one-on-ones.
Putting them in the environment.
Right. So you got to do one-on-ones. But when you do the one-on-ones, you got to jump out and get your rep. And kids from McMain, from 35, from Warren Easton.
They hungry.
Jumping out,
Mhm.
getting every reps. And he's like, nah, Pop. They told us to stand in line. I said, well, the dude that went 7 times before you went twice, was he in line? And he's like, nah. I said, no. I say, see, you got that mentality of already having, of already making. That's like, and if you want to, I'm not saying you have to live like that to be a successful human.
Right.
Because I put you in position to have opportunities to do all kind of things.
Yeah.
But if you want this ball, you got to go act like you got to eat, and
This
you can't
how
make it no
is.
other way.
This how it is. And to your point, man, like we just it's always this huddle of dads, right? You've been through it. It's always this huddle of dads that come from our similar shared experience, and we like, I wish they could get it. But we also, through talking to you, because I tell people all the time, me and RC brothers, iron sharpening iron. We not just.
We'll just do it for TV.
We'll just do it, but you have to. I gotta bounce stuff off of you because I need to hear RC say sometimes, Mark, you going too hard on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm always, to your point, I'm not trying to create the environment. I'm trying to create the mentality that comes from the environment. And like, for me, bro, that's the perfect marriage, right? If your kids can quote unquote grow up affluent,
Right.
but also have the mentality of the parents who grew up. You know, Isha, my wife, grew up in Detroit, bro.
Right.
Like, it wasn't no.
Right.
It was like the only way out is I cannot do what everybody else is doing. But it's like our kids, man. I tell my daughter who's 14, you know, Cara, she volleyball, miss volleyball, whatever. I tell her all the time. I said, if I could pull your mom and dad's struggle and put it in your mentality, along with your ability, because my wife's 6'2", played pro basketball. My kids are super babies.
Hey,
bro.
they won the genetic lottery.
They hit the lottery.
Like,
bro.
if y'all would have told me before, I'd have took out some stocks. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, hey, Marcus, I'm just saying, like, I don't need all of what they make,
bro.
And like an agent's fee. Can I get 1%?
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, because my daughter 14, 6'2", playing volleyball, and she's closer to who we were than my son Marcus Jr. and my youngest is just a beast. But you know the youngest usually. But man,
Well, she been trying. The youngest been trying to fight.
Yeah, she been fighting for position.
right.
Everywhere.
Right.
She fighting for position when they in the bed laying with us. She everywhere. But it's funny, man, when you get back. Like, I got back and I'm driving from the airport. I get the BTR. I'm driving from the airport. I'm driving through the old hood. And initially, I'm like, I got to go see all of this. You know how it is when you come home. And that's why I asked you, is the experience different? Because now I find myself, you know, as we getting older and we having all of these worldwide discussions, I'm finding myself gradually coming back to them lessons. And people, the real conversation about where we come from needs to be based in when you got out, how did you do it and who was a part of it? That need to be the question. We don't need to go look at the projects and look at the buildings and the surrounding area where it's buildings boarded up and say, he made it out of this. How did you do it? You go to the people, the dope boys, who was like RC Untouchable.
Right, but also too though, not even the people that protected you, bro. Think about how many times you're on air and you drop a gem that at the time, at the moment, just comes to you, right? Like, you didn't really think about it. You were going, and it just came up. And then you think about it, and then we go to commercial, and you go, oh, shoot, man. Mr. Williams told me that.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And so what's happened to me is, like, those things that I would learn then wouldn't necessarily resonate. Or I wouldn't necessarily think I held on to them. But now, as you transition through playing, you transition into parenting, and also now being community leaders.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what you become.
Yep.
Like, that's the thing that's different about me being back now.
Right.
Being with the BR Sickle Cell Foundation and having my own sickle cell run. Right? Having opportunities to host Juneteenth rallies and speak. You know, to be able to do all those things, like, that's what's changed. And you look back, like, I remember, Mark, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I say and do some mature stuff now that I don't feel like, right? Like, I don't feel 41. Right?
100%.
There's not a like my body does for sure.
Right,
We
right.
talk about that.
Right, mentality-wise.
But mentality-wise, I'm like, I'm not old.
No.
Right? I don't wake up in the morning feel like I do old stuff.
No.
I don't have like an old man Herm Edwards. No offense, coach. Regimen. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I gotta be up at 5 because I need to go bed by 7.
Yeah,
but then when I start thinking about decisions, right? You start thinking about the different things
How
you
you
give people.
moving.
It's different.
Yeah.
And so you know for sure, bro. You've been on TV and you done said something that you heard before.
Absolutely.
That you were taught before.
Absolutely.
Now,
bro.
do I pass it off as my own idea? Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, because it is it's our experience.
Yeah.
People, so funny man, because we get all of these DMs and we on Twitter we have conversations. So a dude hit me up on Instagram, and it was coming off me. We were talking about salary caps or whatever, and it was coming off. He was like, "Man, you."
Is that when you said?
That's why I was like,
You don't care about the cap?
The Saints in more debt than the United States. And metaphorically speaking, you get it, right? If you pay attention to all of the talk that's...
They probably tried to educate you.
No. He got in my DMs and was like, why you so dismissive of other people's, when other people saying stuff and, the loud, boisterous. And my response was, why something else? Like, cause to your point, when you think of you the best analogy person in the game across all television. I don't care what nobody says. I tell people that all the time. I was like, RC can give you an analogy that will bring anything home for you when it comes to sports. And what people don't understand, I enjoy watching my bro.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not this.
Remember we talked about the other day though? We were texting. I was like, dog, when you rolling, I know.
You go.
Go do your thing.
And I think a lot of times, bro, like even with that, the mentality is, well, RC and Swag must be in some competition because they at ESPN. Dog, we just spent 4 months of me on the phone every day. RC, get your money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, do what's best for you, bro. That's all that matters. And it really resonates, man, with us because it's always that whole ideology of this who we are.
Right.
Like, and you get people, you hear it all the time. When I first started doing First Take and all of that, you hear all the time, stop trying to be Stephen A. And then it evolves after you've been on TV for 2 years.
Right.
Oh, Mark is just this.
He's just good.
Like this is just who he is.
Right.
So I tell, like when I get those though, when I get those type of messages, it ain't. I don't have no snapback to that because I understand your only reference of loud is Stephen A.
Right.
Right. So that is who you relate that to. So if anybody else come on the scene, oh, you trying to be like that.
Right.
Right.
Be honest. Anybody black?
That's what it boiled down to.
Okay.
When you get loud, we
Yeah.
all the same.
Right.
You just
Right.
why you screaming? You
He
trying
the
to be
only
like
person ever screamed on TV.
like Stephen ain't been on TV since Black and White.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this is so as the careers have started to play out, because you and I both still like we're at the beginning. Bro, it's all us, and that's what I respect about watching RC or Foxy. Like just a lot of people that we work with, bro. It's like if you being you, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood. When I talk about sports, I'm loud.
Right. Barbershop.
Like way before
Locker
this TV
room,
thing,
all that.
everything.
That's
right?
what we do.
Because me and you were together.
And here's the other piece too. Cause y'all ain't gonna hear me if I don't get
If
so
I
loud.
don't-
It's like I'm not gonna get a word. Hey, if I don't do this,
I'm not gonna get it in.
Hey, first off, they lucky I'm not because I want to stand up.
All the time.
Right. Anytime
All the time.
I want to stand up because you need to know that what I'm finna say is important.
It's important.
You might not have to feel it,
Yes.
but it's important. And it's
Yes.
crazy though. You talked about being yourself, man, and I think about that evolution. Like I remember when I first started, because I had to deal when I played. I remember feeling like I couldn't be, like I wasn't the dude.
Hold
I
on,
am today.
let's go back. Take me through. Why we ain't never talked about that, bro? I remember you working while playing. How did that happen?
I slicked them. I hit him with a juke move.
Who?
So,
the team or
no, so right, I was going into year 11.
Yep.
So I tweeted. I was like, I need an internship because obviously I was like, I ain't finna play much longer. Trey Wingo, dog. Trey Wingo DM'd me.
That's why you and Trey.
And while we tight.
Yeah.
So he DMs me like, RC, you just intern with us. And I was like, bro, y'all do that? He's like, no, but I'm sure they'll let you. Go down to Super Bowl. That's San Francisco, Baltimore here. I drive down. I do NFL Live. He's like, let me bring you to meet Seth. Brings me upstairs, meets Seth. I was like, hey, man, like, I want to come in and do it. I said twofold. I want to see if I like it enough.
Gotcha.
Right? And I want to see if you guys think I have a future in it. So, man, I go up. It wasn't the car wash, too. It was like how we get it.
Yeah.
I got my schedule, did my thing. Monday, I get calls from agents. One of them goes, we think we could get you paid while you play. I said, what?
Another check.
Another check.
Oh my God, that's the dream.
And so what I did was I signed an off-season contract, bro, and I got paid. And I got paid actually pretty good. Marcus says,
with ESPN.
Yeah, I got paid at ESPN enough to never spend yearly
the football
money.
Oh my God.
And so like that, and that was what I did. And then the crazy thing was, right? Obviously, you come out and now you about to work, and I can be honest, I had to transition because when I was playing football, I didn't really need to be great. Right? Because you know how we see it. Think about, like, if we get a football player on, they're never as good as we are now.
100%.
But we can see enough in them to be like, he's going to be good on TV one day. Torrey Smith. Right? Cam Jordan comes on now.
Cam Jordan,
right?
Yeah.
Cam Jordan
It's
comes
a lot
on now.
of them.
Emmanuel Sanders.
It's a lot
Like,
of
you
them,
see
man.
all these dudes, and
Yeah.
you know, like, right now, today, if that had to be your job, you may not be where you need to be, but eventually, you're going to be gangster.
For sure.
And so, I was like that. And so, but then when I really started, I put pressure on myself. And I'm going to tell you why. I could be straight up with you, bro. I didn't think the RC I am now could make it.
100%.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought
we never saw it.
We never saw it.
The only person we saw hint at it was Stu.
That was it. And Stu was Michael Jordan to me though.
Me too.
Right? So
Yes.
so
Like,
it's like
you didn't get there.
right. So it's like, think about it. Like Kobe, who I think is the closest thing we've seen. Like, everybody wanted to be him.
Right.
But
Right.
Kobe was the only one that was so close, people hated him for it. Right? So,
100%.
Right. So when I saw Stu, I was like, nah, I can't do that, because I felt like I couldn't do the other stuff too.
Right.
So I said, okay, let me just come on. And I remember, bro, it was Josina Anderson.
Uh-huh.
Josina's talking to me. She used to work with me in Washington. She goes, I wish everybody knew how funny you were. I was like, first off, everybody knows I'm funny, so that's some stupid stuff to say. But she was basically saying, nah, she's like, I know your personality. She's like, you don't show it
You're
on
not letting
TV.
it go.
But I felt like in the confines of what I could, I was.
Yep.
And bro, I'll be honest with you. You know what changed it for me? Get Up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Zach and
Yeah.
Pete and all those
Promote
dudes
that.
were like, nah, bro.
Do you?
You gonna get this Swagu says, or you know what I'm saying? I used to do the power rankings. Go ahead. I'd be like, hey, nah, I want to buy me a pie. I want to smash a pie.
Right.
And they'd be like, all right, cool. They run across the street, get a pie, bring it in. And so doing those things, and
You had them on that. You had them on that Diddy.
right, but you know, hey, right? And then what doing those things, you know what it did though? Then I got to see Marcus be Marcus. Right? I started working with Dom, who wasn't the way he is now,
Right now, yeah.
but he started working with me.
Yep.
Right? And so yeah, I sent them to get a cheesecake.
Yeah.
Right? They had to make
Yeah.
the band.
Yeah.
But they understood that was part of the show. And now what did that do? Now SportsCenter wants, nah, give me the Marcus that's
From
on Get Up. Right?
From yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Give me you.
Right, and so
Give me
that and that's how it's evolved. And like, that's why we here, man. Like, think about when we talk about the Fridays, NFL Live. Right? How excited we are on that production
man.
meeting.
Hell yeah. Hey,
You know?
I tell people, bro, listen, going to work, what we do is already like ain't real.
It ain't work, Coach.
It ain't work. Like, I tell
I'm just
people
hanging
all
out with
the
my
time.
friends.
Yeah, we like once we get to that point, like once people see us live, we done all the real work, right? But I always tell people, like, man, when you look at, because you know, people hit me up about you, like, man, RC5. I'm like, bro,
We get the same thing, dog.
but the transition of television, right? So I tell people all the time, man, we ushering in something different. I don't want to say new, because when you say new, people get caught up on, oh, so you created. You know what I'm saying? We usher in something different. And I had a conversation with Jimmy Pitaro, president ESPN, and I was just kind of like we were having a normal conversation. I was like, Jimmy, look, a lot going on in the country, and I was like, I just wanted to tell you that the people here in this company get it.
Right.
Like, we get it. We understand. Like, we gonna be outspoken when it comes to social injustice. Like, and two, bro, throughout the evolution of ESPN, of any company, right? You see all of these new statements being made and everything. At some point, allowing people to be genuinely themselves will do better for you in the long run, right? Because even if you end up gone, even if you end up retired, even if you end up getting fired, look at Jamil's career.
Bruh.
Because that's her.
Bruh.
Being you is always the answer. It's all, I tell every piece of advice, and I know you be spitting the game too to the youngins. Be you. Now, I'm Marcus Spears on television saying be you, right? That doesn't mean that being you don't come with some issues.
No. Also, too, it's within the confines of what you're doing.
Of what you're doing.
Yeah, like people think like, nah, I can't get up there and just cut the fool.
Yeah,
right.
We ain't
But
about to be.
but I understand though that there's a piece of me and there's a Ryan Clark that fits this.
Fits that.
That
Absolutely.
I don't have to change.
Yeah.
Right. So that was hard for me to come to.
Yeah.
Like Marcus, it was hard because I tell stories, right?
Right.
Which is why I give analogies all the time. That's how I talk.
Right.
You know, at first it was this team did this and this team. I was like, man, this junk boring as hell, bro. We talked about it. Man, I remember being on the field. Being on the field at the spring game, Coach O's first year, and he was like, RC, what you want to do? And I was like, man, like I just love football, bro. He let me talk. Like, what you want to do? And he was like, bro, I want to be a star.
Period.
And I told you, I was like, that's fine. I don't really like TV like that.
Yep.
But so the evolution for me was you. I ain't lie. It was Foxworth, right? It was having opportunities to say, okay, I can go do stuff I enjoy doing.
Right.
And now, once you do it well enough, right, which is where Stephen A is, you start doing it well enough, they take you out their box.
Take you out the box.
Now, I'm not coaching you how to be you no more, right? I'm telling you this is the topic.
This is the topic.
Now you go do what you do.
Go.
Right?
Go.
But think about, you talking about the social injustice stuff.
Yeah.
Think about this though. 2016, I wear a Colin Kaepernick jersey, or Mike and Mike.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Which at that time, I ain't gonna lie, I tried to be slick because the week before, Greeny wore a Trevor Siemian jersey. Right? And so what I tried to do was say, oh, I ain't know. I thought we could wear jerseys. I thought we could wear jerseys.
You knew what that said.
Right? And so, bro, I do the show. I do Mike and Mike. I got 7 to 8. That was my segment.
Right.
I get off, phone ring. Hello? Can't do that, RC. Look what I said. Do what?
Do what?
I just wear the shirt.
wore
Did my gear.
Yeah.
You know, but so I understood what it was, right? And I understood, like, during that time, Marcus, we would have, like, production meetings, and the segment might be on the protest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would give my answer, and they would tell me, we're not going to ask you.
We ain't going to ask you that.
Right? And listen, I know some of it was for me.
Yeah.
Right? Some of it was to protect me.
Yeah.
Right? And some of it was to protect the show because at that time that wasn't cool.
It wasn't cool. And
right?
in your experience, that's the conversation we've had 1,000 times. Our experience not gonna allow us to get on TV and be fake about it.
I'm not finna do it.
We can't do it.
But I appreciate you telling me I ain't got to.
100%.
I'm not tripping on that.
100%. I will rather bow out
yes
than to go on there and try to have some politically correct approach to it. Cause you know me. No, you know damn well. If I got on television and was like, well, you know, the league has to really take this into consideration.
I would fire you.
You'd be
like,
I
would fire.
You'd be like, who is this dude?
Hey, you'd be like, is Marcus's phone
Is
ringing?
he?
Yes, it's RC.
It's RC.
It's right.
Get
your tail off the TV.
So we gotta be conscious of that, man, because even I got a question for you. I'm going into interview mode.
Go ahead.
Because I get this and I want to know how you deal with it. Black people, our people, are our biggest critics. Okay? When we don't speak on something, or even if we ain't been on TV yet.
Right, why haven't you?
Like, yeah, like they don't understand
I'm
off. Like, but I have the hardest time dealing with that part of it. I don't get mad about people disagreeing with my stance on when we talked about George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, social injustice. When we talked about the insurrection, I didn't know what the hell the insurrection meant I just knew them people ran up in the
That's what
Capitol.
you knew.
Right? But it was like this, you ain't talking about it how you supposed to be.
How I'm supposed to be?
Like, how?
My opinion.
Yeah, like I'm saying what I'm saying, right? Now, you can disagree with that, but how do you handle that, bro? Cause you get them, you get the DM. RC, you a company guy, ESPN paying you, they gonna lawyer to the pay. I'm like, bro, do you realize? Go back and look at the tape of me and RC on all of this.
Yeah, I'll be tripping. I ain't black, like,
bro.
I don't. I think the thing. So here's always my way to handle it. I'm okay if you disagree because a lot of times they go, well, you said this, you said that, you said this. If the three things you named, I really said, and you understood them as I said them, and you disagree, cool. But when they come at me with, well, this is what you said. No, I didn't. I didn't say that. Right? At not one point. And I've actually had to grow out of answering all those questions. Yeah. Right? Because my biggest thing is I don't want to be misunderstood. Right. Like, I ain't tripping about you not liking me. I don't want to be misunderstood. Absolutely. But I've also learned, Marcus, like, we can't make all those people happy. We can't. Because you got to realize they don't see everything. Right? Because you might, and now people don't understand that either too, bro. Like, I'm asked on Get Up, right? And then I'm asked on First Take. And I know I have the same feeling, but I have to try to say it in slightly a different way.
No question.
And in that, some of those things going to be lost in translation. Yep. But like you mentioned those things, like, think about the transition of the league. Right? Yeah. And who led the league this year? Patrick Mahomes was a huge part of it. Deshaun Watson, Michael Thomas, right? Yeah. And so we have all these, even Russell Wilson changed his stance from All Lives Matter, right? Because he was an All Lives Matter guy. Said it. To where he hosted the ESPYs in a Black Lives Matter shirt. Like, that's the way society shifted. Absolutely. Right? And so now you're on TV, and I'm be honest, I watched what you said a lot because I didn't necessarily think I had to temper what I said because of what you said, but I always wanted to give people a different perspective. Because we think so much alike. Yes. And so there were times
I found myself doing that.
Right.
Too.
It was times you hit things. I was like, okay, I was gonna hit that. Right. But now Marcus already covered that. I could go to this. What was that responsibility like to you? Because 2020, bro, was a different year for all of us. One, we were stuck in our houses, so we worked a lot. Yeah. Right? Bro, and then you had these things going on.
For me, man, it was the opportunity that I wasn't looking forward to. That's how I describe it to people, right? I'm a big person on you where you supposed to be when you there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got like a human instinct of we know when we in over our heads. Mm-hmm. I never felt one time while I was doing the job and these issues was coming up, I felt like it was over my head. Mm-hmm. I never felt like this is something I can't talk.
You never felt like you weren't equipped.
I was equipped because of what we talked about earlier. I grew up in these situations. Mm-hmm. I know the effects of poverty. Mm-hmm. I know what most black dudes are doing when they get to the league, what they trying to get accomplished, get their family out, take care of their family. Like, we all have very similar stories of experiencing racism, experiencing being discriminated against. Like, I tell people all the time, those RC and I are no different from them experiences than the people that's going through them right now. Mm-hmm. We just wasn't on TV to talk about them. Like, I've been followed around in high price stores.
I've been pulled, you know what I'm saying? All of it.
Exactly. So I don't have this. My disdain is not based in new information, right? So when we having a conversation about George Floyd, when all of that went on, my point to people was on television was the conversation I had to have with my son, which I wasn't ready for yet, and his reaction was why I was so emotional. Cause think about it, man. We got a job to do on television. We supposed to be, professional and whatever. But when your 11-year-old asks you a simple question, why didn't he get up and he knew he was killing him? Bro, where I'm from, I know why he didn't get up.
Now but see, you talking about being equipped to speak about it on TV is one thing. being able to have that conversation
man.
with the emotion
RC
involved.
is the hardest thing I've had to do in my life because I did not know my son's state of mind when we had to talk about it. But beyond that, bro, when we had our conversation, because you and I could respond to it, we saw it growing up, whatever. But it's always that we still got a job to do, but we also have a responsibility to who we are. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I get so crazy about our people when they get in attack mode that you didn't translate it how they think you should. I'm like, bro, I'm not dealing with that layer of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was always, for me, man, a level of comfort because I experienced a lot of what's going on publicly now.
Right.
So for me and you to talk about it, it wasn't no thing. We was all like, bro, this is not new.
Yeah.
We just it's a new forum on TV. Right? We have this platform to be able to express it now, but it was not a situation where it was something we was unfamiliar with. I'm from Baton Rouge. Alvin Sterling happened here.
Yes.
Right? I saw dudes get cuffed and done bad by police growing up. But to get to my point, when the George Floyd thing happened, right? If you and I was doing this, where we had an open forum of time, and people also have to understand time constraint. The most disheartening part, outside of the act, the murder, was the power for all of those people to be standing there watching a man get his life snuffed out, but to be so afraid of the infrastructure, I'm not going to go help another human I see losing their life. That's the issue that good American people should have. Obviously, we see the act happening, and we see the 3 officers behind the car later. But you look at citizens, bro. We really here to take care of each other. That's really supposed to be
But see, I think, but that's the thing, right? Certain people, right, African American people, have been so far removed from help, from the consciousness of being valuable enough to help.
That's why I'm like, that is the crux of it.
Right, from the piece of your brain that says, you know what? This other human is in trouble.
Yes.
Right.
It's
be
trauma.
But you got to be seen as a human.
You got to be seen as a human.
Right. And so those things, I tell people all the time, those things aren't necessarily the racism that's just attached to color. Right. Those things become traditional. Right.
Ideals.
Those things become repetition.
Yeah.
And so you see that so many times. Right. I've seen cops harass black people. I've seen cops do these things, and you go, oh. I've already seen it. Like the thing I remember most, bro, about last year. Obviously, Jordan. Right. You know, his run in.
Yep.
Oh, appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Oh Lord, that's that redfish.
This is what we've been waiting on.
In the trash. It was fantastic.
Yeah, buddy.
Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. We always enjoy having y'all here. We thank y'all for coming out.
Oh man, thank you, my man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
Golly, I've been praying for redfish for a long time.
Enjoy.
Thank you. But when I think back to last year, I think about never preparing once for any of those segments. Right? Like I never had to read one more thing. And obviously I was wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
So the information about, obviously, because we need to know the information.
Absolutely.
What's the officer's name?
Absolutely.
How long did he kneel on him?
The details of it.
You needed the
details of it. Yeah.
But to tell you how I felt about it, I didn't need it. And I also remember, Marcus, never knowing what I was going to say. Right? Like I knew how it would start. Right? I knew how I would answer the question. And you remember at those times, they were leaving them open-ended. Right? They weren't asking us to like pinpoint
not a specific
one thing,
situation.
Right? They was just saying, like, go talk.
Yeah.
And then what I remember.
Shout out to ESPN for that, by the way.
No, they show love.
Shout out to them.
They show love.
That.
But I remember being angry.
Yeah.
And here's why I was angry with ESPN. You don't understand the amount of text messages, emails, and calls I got from people saying that my voice was needed, right? Or saying that what I said was pertinent, or that what I said was so big for the show, people needed to hear that. Because all it made me think back was, remember, that's the same person I was in 2016.
Same person, bro.
Right? And I wasn't, and it wasn't necessarily, I'm mad at you, my employer. It was that it made me think about society.
Yeah.
Because my employer has to understand what brings in dollars and cents.
Right.
Right. And at
Right.
the time they did have the Jamel thing, they had all this
Yeah.
other stuff going on. And so you had at the time a president saying
By
that
the way, a different group of people at ESPN
a different group of
too.
people,
Yeah.
right? And so you had like these things going on. You had the president of the United States saying these
Bro.
certain things about these players, and I was on the other side of that.
On the other side.
And
of
so
it.
in being on the other side of that, that wasn't the side to be on.
Yeah.
And now, am I happy society changed, bro? 100%. Right? I'm happy society.
Forced identification.
Right. I'm happy society had to actually say, you know what? There's a mother effing problem.
No doubt. No doubt, bro.
Right. But whether it was my ego, whether it was my pride, whether it was just being hurt, saying, and I don't even think I could change the world, but why you ain't listen to me
Why
then?
you ain't listen to me then?
Right?
Why you ain't listen to Cap then?
Why you ain't listen then?
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
and so and that hurt me.
Because okay, so this is what we. I think this is why people respect what you and I do, along with a lot of other people that's really good in this business. Because it wasn't hurting their bottom line, RC.
100%.
Like, let's be real about it. Like, the bottom line is when Cap did it, everything, it was new. And the NFL was still seeing great things happen. The numbers were outrageous. And then you get this like outcry after the kneeling, and then it starts to hurt the bottom line. Jamel didn't get fired because of her remarks to Trump. She got fired talking about what you should do if you got a problem with the NFL keeping him out of the league. But all of that stuff, to your point, we identify with. Like, we identify with all of that. So it was all for me, like looking back and seeing everything that had gotten to this point, the forced consciousness, the way, bro, from when George Floyd happened, it was a tone that it was almost similar to 9/11. It was almost because people watched that, and if you were a good person, no matter your skin color, you hurt. Right? And these companies started looking at it like, and I still think some of them ain't want to do it. Some of them ain't want to make no public statement, but they looking at their employees that are black and white and different ethnicities, and this is the central focus in the office. Right? So now it brought everything to right now. We on the table right now. And for you and I, being at ESPN and being black men, it was forced. It was like, bro, we can't hide from this. Like, even if I did not want to be a part of a show at that time that was not going to have that conversation. And people have to understand how uncomfortable that was, bro. Because now it's no longer about, to your point, how we formulate this discussion. Hey, man, ask me the question and get out of the way. Because that conversation with my son came up because that's where
that was real.
It led. You know what I'm saying? Because I could have been all of the emotions, the anger, the hurt, the pain, the wanting to fight, the wanting to fix it, all of that stuff, that run of emotion. But then when I got up there, I at no time was I consciously thinking, I need to let everybody know the conversations we have with our kids. And we need to,
it just happened.
Like, bro, this real.
What you was feeling.
Like, this what happened. Like,
what you was
this
feeling,
what, no, my son ain't calculate, come and ask me no question. It all happened like that. And bro, that situation to where we are now, which I think we made, I think we made some progress because now it's consciousness, right? We still got a lot of work to do, and infrastructures and systems and all of that stuff need to be changed. But I do see a consciousness that's different, right? Even going through the election and people just starting to really like be like, yo, we gonna lose a lot of control of this thing if we don't acknowledge that black people deal with an issue in this country. Like, and that's really what 2020 was for me, right? Women as well, minorities as well.
Speaking of,
like,
women lead, bro, and never. I watched the WNBA change a state.
Bro, they did everything They did
everything right.
They stood on it as hard as any other league. Now, we talked about the NBA. The WNBA were leaders, bro. Like, in Georgia. Everywhere.
That's the reason it changed.
It's changed, bro.
Yep.
So, it's just... But I always feel like, and to RC, it's a sense of proudness that come with that, man, because, you know, working with our colleagues who are white and having conversations with them. And it was a learning experience for me, because if I would have been like, bro, you 32, what you mean you don't understand what's going on? They really didn't.
And that's I had an opportunity to do a diversity survey presentation to the entire LSU athletic department. Right? You know why they picked me.
Yep,
they said it. It's like, look, RC, if we do it, he's like, I'm a white man, I'm 32, ain't nobody paying attention to me. But I was like, look, if I'm gonna do it, I need the numbers, right? I need the transparency. I want to see the entire survey. I want to see what was written, and they gave me that.
Gave you that,
right? And one of the ladies wrote in the survey, I don't feel like it's my sole responsibility to teach white people what racism is, but I do understand I have a responsibility.
You can have a responsibility.
But they have to be willing to work.
Yeah.
And so what I told them is, I say, let me tell you what this means. I said, because she wrote it much more eloquently than I would have. What she means is, she's tired of having to deal with y'all being racist as hell and then teach y'all how to not be racist as hell.
How to not be racist as hell.
I said, that's hard.
Bro, it's hard, bro.
But what I learned was, when that happened, when society started to change, when they wanted to understand it, if you had the conversations, at least in our job for sure, they became allies publicly. Because they understood it.
They understood it.
Right? Because they knew it was wrong. Like, they saw the video and they was
Right.
like, this is wrong as hell.
Right.
But they couldn't understand the history behind it, or why
we felt
it hurt us so much.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's not your people. That's
Right.
Not, you don't know him.
That ain't your family member.
Right.
And look at all the bad stuff he did.
Exactly. And all that. But then when
yeah.
they listen, but when you mention the WNBA and the power that they wielded, right?
Yep.
The solidarity that they showed, it makes me think about the individual athletes that were huge. And I think back to Naomi Osaka, right? Because a lot of times you're not, it's just human nature, because she's not 100% black, because that you don't necessarily think that she is as down as everybody else. But for her to be in the US Open, bro, and every single day wear a different
Wear
badge.
the names. Put the names.
You know, and so and when the cry was, say her name, right? Say their names, right? Say his name. So all those things, you know, it was like, man, like, we doing our little part, she's doing her little part. Everybody was doing something, and it made you more comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? It made me more comfortable to be like, oh, that's right. You know, and so I think about that, and that leads me to you, one, going off about cap space last week, right? But also, two, us not laughing, right? Because it's not funny, but thinking about David Cullen.
Oh my God.
Right? And why he's in this situation. Think about it though, bro. Like, we're at a time in life, dog, where I don't care what nobody say, Carson Wentz got himself out of Philadelphia. I don't care what the stories report. He got himself.
He got himself out of there.
He got himself out of there.
Yeah.
Right? Deshaun's trying to get out of Houston. Russ. Go Hawks, Russ.
All the time. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. And, like, 20-minute interview, I ain't say nothing. Go Hawks.
Straight up.
Right? He talking about getting out of there. And so now Matthew Stafford got himself out of Detroit. Like, we're seeing all these dudes take control of their own narrative, of their own careers. And, bro, when I'm watching it, people do this junk, and it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes ain't, like, taking control. Like, Jalen Ramsey is in a better situation.
He's in a better situation.
Right. Jamal Adams is in a better situation, bro.
That old ideology of, I'm going to let the people in positions to make decisions determine my future is over with in the NFL. And I try to tell people, like, RC, we have some old values about football that we just feel like are foundational, right? Like things like you will never hear me ever get on TV and say the line of scrimmage ain't the most important thing in football.
That's how it's built.
Exactly. I don't care how much.
I play defensive back.
Right. But to understanding your responsibility in that. But so it's nuanced, but it's some things are foundational, right? And when you think about these dudes that you just mentioned, the one thing that stands out about all of them, for me, is the evolution.
Right.
Like not having the fear to be ostracized. Like Deshaun been like, I'm standing on it. Now, I'm not gonna come out and do an interview every other day. I'm not gonna be in front of cameras. You don't have to. And to me, that is the. And to be honest with you, while we talking about Russ, that was my issue with Russ.
Yes, I agree.
Russ,
with that.
just say what you want to happen, bro. Like, cause you number one have earned that opportunity, and you don't need your stature in the NFL. You don't need to be a roundabout way type of dude.
No,
like you don't. You a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, bro. You don't have to leave breadcrumbs and hope everybody get to the final conclusion.
They can say no. You gonna have a job.
You gonna have a job.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what Deshaun understands. Like, yo, even if I gotta sit out, and these folks want to play hardball, I'm gonna be 28 with 2 years of no hits on my body, and everybody already know my talent. But to your point, man, like I'm looking at Cully, bro, and I'm trying not to go back to that old idea of.
Why they putting him out there?
I be trying not to make it black all the time.
No, I have to be able to tell them. That's the one thing I do tell black folks that like hit me up. Everything ain't black, man.
Not everything, man.
Everything that happened to us ain't like not that.
Yes, man. Like everything ain't that, bro. And everything ain't to get nobody. You know what I'm saying? But it's also a product of the experience. But anyway, with Cully, man, it's like. My frustration lies with, it's not, I understand what Cully is trying to do. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to be a head coach. He's trying to establish a leadership role with the guys in that locker room. He's also trying to be a bridge to Deshaun and the Texans. But they sending this dude out here with no info, RC.
Well, no,
4 months, he been there.
Hey, he going to war. And he got that gun Arsenio Hall had on Harlem Night.
Stop shooting that! Hey, bro, that's what's happening.
Hey, that's what they sent him to war with,
like, dude, he just out there. He don't know what to say. He giving the cliche.
Because he's a Houston Texan. If I hear him say that one more time,
bro. I can't, bro. I can't accept that that's the best scenario that the Texans can put out there. I can't accept that. Because number one, David Cutler don't have nothing to do with that. The other piece of that, RC, is Casario as the GM should say something, but he's not responsible for it either.
No.
Like, so when I was tweeting about it, and I'm like, bro, you can't. First of all, if you follow any football, you know if the Houston Texans have a press conference, what the questions are going to be right now. Ain't nobody gonna ask David Culley about Kirksey signing as a linebacker. Ain't nobody gonna ask him about nothing. They ain't gonna ask him is Larry Tunsil good. None of that.
Right.
They gonna ask him, what's up with Deshaun? Have you had any discussions?
Don't care about Mark Ingram.
Nobody. Bro, so it's watching that man after all this time trying to become a head coach. Go and if you remember when I was on TV and they said they was gonna bring in why is my name Eric Bieniemy after they didn't originally have him on the candidate list.
Right.
I was like, Eric Bieniemy need to stay as far away from Houston as he possibly can. RC,
they were looking for a sacrificial lamb though.
Cause I saw this day coming, bro. Like I saw it coming from 1,000 miles away. When they added Eric Bieniemy to that list. Now, granted, they did interview some other African American head coaches. The problem was none of them dudes was gonna come with the resume Eric Bieniemy got right now.
Right.
None of them. So you doing this to appease, but that ain't your plan. Cully found up getting out. We all want them to have success. We want coaches to have success, especially black coaches. Opportunities few and far in between. But at the same time, bro, my responsibility as your boss is to put you in the best possible situation. Now, if I'm the head, I'm operating free will. Like if I'm the owner, If I'm Cal McNair,
Do what you want.
Yeah, I can call the press conference, sit in front of the table and not say a damn word for an hour and be like, all right, thank y'all. You know what I'm saying? Can't say nothing to him. But don't send this man out there and knowing he gonna get questions. RC, my biggest issue, he legitimately cannot answer them.
He has no information.
And something in him, through, I don't know, conversations with the Texans or talking to front office of management, won't allow him to just say, you're going to have to get with Cal and Jack Easterby and Nick Caserio about Deshaun's situation. I'm here to coach the guys that want to play for the Texans. That's the statement.
I think the biggest thing is this. They are trying to double down as an organization that he's going to be there. But they don't have any information that's saying he is.
None.
Right? And so the one thing I believe Coach knows he can't say is that he ain't coming back.
Right.
And so all he could say is whatever will get him through the questions. But when you look at that situation, is that where we are in life now? Right? Basketball been doing it. Right? James Harden and I'm telling you what, James Harden and Kyrie over there hooping right now.
Hooping.
Right? They talked about that boy James Harden being fat and he ain't in shape.
Don't hear none of that no more.
Man, you don't hear none of that no more.
Gone. Yeah.
Right? Triple-double. He triple-double.
Yeah, running point.
Kyrie hitting 40, easy. And so you think about that, worked for him.
Worked for him.
LeBron and Clutch Sports, they put together LeBron and AD. I remember going to the game 2 years ago trying to see the Pelicans play, and AD had on them long ASS Chuck Taylors.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember that, bro. You know? And so these dudes starting to control their lives.
Yeah.
Like no more is it, I want to play with dude, or I want to be here, or I don't want to play with this team. Y'all ain't doing what's right. It's like, nah.
Think about Perez.
I got to go.
In New York.
100%.
Like, bro, I'm out.
And that's leaving New York, too.
That's leaving New York.
Right? For somebody who loves clothes,
bad.
but somebody who loves clothes, who loves, like, that type of scene,
Yeah.
to say, nah, man.
And who
send
was
me
balling.
Right. Send me to Seattle.
Seattle. Send me up there with Go Hawks.
I don't care if the sun don't shine.
Bro, it
You know what I'm
rained 362 days a year, bro.
Right.
Like,
And so,
but that's the thing, bro. Like that is probably that's what I'm most proud of. I'm proud of JJ Watt for saying, nah, man, I'm good. I'm proud of Matt Stafford for being like, I ain't gonna ever have a chance.
I did it for a decade.
Yeah, like I gotta bounce. I'm so proud of Deshaun for saying, bro, y'all not setting me up for success.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take $150 million. I don't care who on the roster.
Right.
You give me a contract for $150, but your moves after that are gonna determine what my next 4 or 5 years gonna look like.
Mm-hmm.
I got no issue with no player saying I'm out. Just like when Jalen was going through it, we was talking about it, and like, bro. But let me say this, RC, because you know me. All y'all dudes in the NFL, y'all can't do that.
No.
Think about the names we saying. If you ain't got one of them names, you better not be stomping up in that front all the time.
Hey, so what you're saying is, some of y'all better stay on your team. Hey.
And I was one of them. I wasn't going to go in Jared's office talking about, Jared, I need a trade. I don't like it. You ain't take. Jared been like, okay, go home.
Bro, 100%. Quit then. Quit. We're just going to fire you.
We're going to fire you.
Right. But you're going to be here making no money.
Making no money.
And so, I guess, like my biggest thing, right, when I look at players taking control of their lives, people taking control of their lives, bro. Like, that's why we're here. I'm going to be honest. And, you know, we finna finish eating, bro, and wrap it up. But I knew you was coming into town, right?
Yeah,
I knew we was going to link anyway. And so I was like, let me take my career in my own hands. And now, I don't know what the hell this means. I do, but I will say this. If we do decide to do this again, I'll tell you first. I won't send people running up on you, on your car.
Please don't.
But I want to go hunting. Now, I don't.
You want a what?
I love this one right here. I'm gonna talk loud. Every day I used to tell myself I gotta make it out when no one helps. Underwater did a Michael Phelps. Now I'm walking on the clouds, proud of myself. like it was over when it started. Success slipping, I'm tripping, was hard, but then I caught it. Was just wishing my mission can't quit, just hit the target. But then my dreams came true, if you would truly call it fate. My destiny was written in the stars. Some shot for the moon, but I was aiming at Mars. The realest dude in the room, a rose blooming and tall. A special thank you to who